If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement, Male Advantage ebook, or my personal workout and diet plan, all links are in the bio. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. It's nice to finally be back on camera again with the SMP at the moment. I've got my final treatment coming up. The second treatment just took place with that at the moment. Obviously there's like recovery involved. I can't go to the gym properly, or I can, but I've got to take like 2 hours while I'm there because I'm not allowed to sweat. So, you know, it just takes a ton of time. I don't know if you can see it. I just shaved it all with a razor blade. I just went with the grain. It wasn't actually a good razor blade. I didn't have one, and, you know, couldn't be bothered to go out and get one today. So I used one that was like, okay, not too bad. But I can't really tell until I look in editing, but it looks okay to me. I get about 3-4 days of growth where it all looks okay, so that's not too bad. I only have to shave it twice per week, which is kind of what I wanted. When I was bald, I was kind of shaving it every day or every other day. It was a pain in the ass. The other thing I want to give you a heads up on is the physical copy, the paper book, or the paperback book of the Male Advantage is available now. As you can see, it's around about, I don't know how many pages. I mean, there's a fair few. Look, if I flick through there. Decent book, in my opinion. Obviously, it's my book, I'm going to say that, but I do think every single page is decent. I've read a lot of books in the past, and one thing that I found is after like the first 4 chapters, you're just talking shit now. Like, they're just saying the same things over and over again. Within that book, from start to finish, I tried to put a nugget in each chapter, which was like something life-changing, okay? So hopefully you guys think I've done that. I've had some great reviews so far. I've got the link below to buy the paperback book is there. What I'm doing is the first 250 sold copies, I'm signing them. So there's like the first 2 pages I talk about the Male Advantage. You know, it's like an introduction. I'm just signing that at the start, okay? And I'm not going to do any more after that because it is a little bit time consuming to keep signing them. And it gives the people who really wanted to sign one something special. And not to say my signature's special, but it's different than just buying the normal book, you know? And I've only got like 30 of those left. So if somebody wants to get a signed copy, go and grab one now with the link below. And yeah, you'll get one of the remaining signed copies. But I won't be doing this afterwards unless it's like some special event in the future where I might sign it if people show up with their books or whatnot. Not like I'm not really a celebrity or that type of guy, but who knows? People like that sort of thing, okay? But the purpose for today's video, guys, and it's a video that I've made similar things in the past, and people often say to me, don't ever worry about becoming repetitive because some of the stuff you say you need to hear multiple times. Have you ever had something, guys, where like you get a motivation boost off a certain video or a certain idea, and then like 2-3 months later you watch the same video again and you're like, I remember that thought pattern that I was on around about that time. I need to get back to that. This is why I like making not the same videos but similar, especially as the audience grows and there's new guys coming on here all the time. And this is why I love reading the comments and trying to, like, it's been hard lately, but trying to reply to as many people as possible, because I get a real good feel of the community and how you guys are coping out there right now. Like, is it with, like, when COVID was happening, like, how you all getting on? How are guys feeling? Winter's here at the moment. Like, are people positive? Are they negative? Like, how are you getting, do you know what I mean? Like, how are you feeling in general? Like, where's the modern world of men going? And one thing that I keep picking up on is the fact that so many young men want life to be perfect. Like, they're not understanding the struggles of early male life. I'm picking up on this a lot. So that's why this video is who told modern men life was easy. Because I'm seeing this a lot at the moment. A lot of guys in the comments saying, hey, look, I'm like 23 years old. Things aren't going too well. I don't have the women I want. I'm getting in the gym, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's getting there, but it's not quite there. Like, I'm working towards something. I don't know what. I'm purposeless. I don't really know what to do. The world seems to be passing me by. I'm not really sure what I want to do next in my life. And it's like, yeah, that's completely normal and that's okay. I don't know how this happened. Whether it's, I don't want to blame everything on social media because it's what people do without any substance. But I don't know whether it's social media in the sense of you're seeing all these people like promoting their life so much that you're going, hey, I'm miles behind that. I don't know whether it's that. I don't know whether it's the movies. I don't know whether it's, the media, so to speak. I don't know whether it's like access to celebrities and sports stars and we're seeing their lives and we know how old they are and their upbringing and we're getting more exposure to this shit that we're thinking we need to be at this point by this time. Or is it pussy power? Pussy power has a massive influence on each generation. If women say every guy needs to be earning 6 figures or above, then suddenly that becomes like a new normal. Every era of women kind of define how great the men need to be. And in this era, they've never been more demanding without offering a lot in return outside of sex appeal. And it's never been more socially acceptable for a woman to just be hot. Oh, I'm hot, the sex will be great. You can show me off to your friends. Yeah, I don't have a job, I'm unemployed, whatever. Like, it's socially acceptable now for that to happen. We're in a dynamic of a relationship between a man and a woman. I don't know whether it's all of these components, but so many guys are out there saying, I'm behind. Things aren't going well. They encounter a few... I've never seen this before. Men encountering failures and then wanting to give up. Like, men have never given up so easily than this generation. It's like, that didn't go well. I'm depressed. I'm tempted to commit suicide. Right? And I'm not mocking that because I've been in that scenario too. And that's why I really understand this. Because why is that our first thought? Why are we jumping to that conclusion so quickly? 3 things went wrong. I'm going to commit suicide. Like, I can think of at least 20, 30 scenarios off the top of my head. Like, I wouldn't know them by name, but I can think of them like they're there that have happened since I was like 18 to like 29 now. Of people, like young lads, who have been broken up with by their girlfriend and went and jumped off a building. Or went and topped themselves or something like that. That never used to happen, right? It's almost like failures now are deemed as the worst thing ever. I don't get it, but I want to normalize early life male struggle. Now, I've got a very good example on this, or at least I personally think it's a very good example. It kind of involves a lion and a cub. Okay, it's going to sound more like a Jordan Peterson thing, but I'm not quite a storyteller like him. I kind of jump from bit to bit like I am now. But I look at it as like a lion, like a full-grown lion and a cub, okay? So if you look at a full-grown male lion, 190 kilograms. Guys, that's fucking enormous. Nobody fucks with the lion. Lion is king of the jungle, goes out and hunts, goes and takes control, forward thinker. We've all seen that Dan Pena video where that female lioness is waiting, and the big male comes over and just bang, just takes the, I think it's a zebra, clean out. That's the powerful king of the jungle. That's what he does. He doesn't fuck around. He just goes out there, does what he wants. Yeah, humans have got guns, it's a bit of a bitch move, but if it was one-on-one, humans are getting wrecked, with no weapons, getting wrecked by a lion. Just be like that, dead. Right? They're the ultimate alphas, if you would. Like, nobody fucks with a lion. That's the king of the jungle. But in an early stage of that lion's life, it's a cub. Okay? And a male lion cub weighs about 2 kilograms, 1 to 2 kilograms at the time of birth. That's still fucking huge, okay? It's still massive. But they're wildly vulnerable. They're almost like a newborn puppy, right? They're just like a little dog or a little cat or something like that. They're pathetic. Like, we could beat them up, right? With one hand, we could just throw them, whatever. Like, don't want to give people ideas here, but that's what you could do, right? Don't want to sound like a psychopath. What else could you do? But they could get trampled on. They could get stolen by like an eagle. They could get eaten by like hyenas and whatever. Like, what I'm saying is they're wildly vulnerable. So you've got this end product, which is 190 kilogram beast of a lion, king of the jungle, fucking running the show, doing whatever the fuck it wants to do. And then you think to yourself, at some point, that's a cub. It's 2 kilograms. It's wildly vulnerable. So even though the end product is top level alpha, king of the jungle, nobody's going to fuck with me, along that journey, things will fuck with you. Hyenas might eat you. If you stray too far from your mum and dad, whatever, you're getting wiped out. You're losing your life. It's very similar to a male journey. Like that cub doesn't know how to hunt, needs to learn how to hunt before it can become kind of the leader, so to speak, can become confident enough to go out there and make the kill, bring that back and provide for the family. Like you look at the journey of a lion and they start out of just like a big soaking wet pussy. Okay, they're just pathetic. Like they can be destroyed by anybody. They can be killed by like a teenage human boy could kill a lion cub. Right? It's pathetic. But then as it goes up through its life, it becomes more powerful and then it becomes the king. It takes over. Male life is very similar. We start off, like I said before, guys, millions of times, spotty, awkward, broke, no assets, and just like lacking in confidence, just a floppy frame. Like there's no strength there. Like you haven't gone and lifted the iron that's necessary. You haven't slammed the heavy plates around. You know, you haven't built up that mass. You haven't built up that masculine frame, that masculine confidence, that fuck you attitude, some fuck you money where you don't need to care about anybody anymore. It's quite good at this point in 1STMAN's history, if you would, or journey, where I'm 29, I'm making very good money, like to the point where it's money that I could only dream of when I was younger, and the business is at a very good point where I can execute on pretty much anything I want to do whenever I want to do it, and I do currently have fuck you money and attitude. I can tell you guys that wasn't the case. I can tell you guys that when I was growing up, yeah, there's some years where I was a little bitch. I didn't think I was trying hard, but I was a little bitch. I wasn't who I am today. Like it's a different animal now. Like I have a lot more power now in what I can do. And I can show you guys that, hey, look, this journey does happen. Like the male advantage journeys that I lay out for you guys. And we've all got to start off as these little 2-kilogram cubs before we can make it to the king of the jungle, right? They say king of the jungle is more of a tiger thing, isn't it? Like lion's more like Serengeti. It's more like the plains or, you know, desert vibes. But either way, you get what I'm saying. But that's the journey that most men are going on. And when we start off, we're very, like I said, we're very vulnerable. We don't quite get it yet. People are going to fuck with us. Like we know we're a lion. We know we're a 190 kg lion, but people fuck with us. Things aren't going to plan, right? And you go, I know I should be getting these women. I know that I should be getting this level of respect, but you don't. And it hurts a little bit, right? Your ego gets a little bit dented because you know how great you could be. As a man, all men know this, that they could be at the top. They want to be at the top, but you're not getting that respect. You're not living the life that you believe that you should be. I've had this. Like I'm 29 now. Only this year do I believe that I'm finally getting the attention and respect that I was owed when I was young. Like the women that I wanted now want me. And I'm like, okay, it's making sense. It took me a long time to get to that position. But it's taken all that work, all that time, all that gym work, all the money that I've managed to make, all the like business moves that I managed to make, the sacrifices, whatever. 29 years old to finally get to a position where I'm like, okay, you know, this is where I thought I belonged. This is like the house that I want, I can get it. Or the apartment if I want to rent it. I won't because I want to build a streaming platform first. Unless it turns into like a podcast studio and can generate more money for the brand, then, you know, if it helps you guys, I might do it. I've been entertaining an idea recently. I might show you some pictures of the place I've been looking at, or do a vlog or something when I go and view it soon. You know, but those sort of aspects that I want in my life that all men dream of, like you want this car, you want this life, you want this woman, whatever, like it's only just starting to take place at like 29. And this is what so many guys don't understand. They might be 23 years old, they encounter their first failure, and they get disheartened. Then they're depressed. They're thinking about suicide. They're saying, I'm going to be alone forever. When did this happen? When did this happen for modern men? When do we get told that life was going to be easy? Like, it's tough. It's always been tough. It's always been difficult for men. Like, when did we forget that? Like, the reason I've been able to get to where I am today is because I expected things to go wrong. Like, yeah, I went through depression, I had a little moment, whatever. I was like 22 around that time. But I figured out quickly, oh, this is normal. Like, that's when I discovered the male advantage, and that's why I promote it so heavily to you guys. Because it is the greatest thing in a man's life. Because that journey is beautiful. That cub to the lion, top dog. You know, that journey is beautiful. And it's necessary. Number one, it's necessary. But number two, expect it. Like, I cannot promote that enough. Like, you guys have to expect things to go wrong. You have to expect things to not be as good as what you want them to be. That's just part and parcel of being a man. As a man, until you've achieved success, until you've got great assets, until you've got a bit of power, as sad as it is to say, you are kind of a no one. It's like a woman who isn't beautiful. She's like, it's not me saying this, it's just society. They don't get as much respect. If a beautiful woman starts to lose her looks, her life starts to crumble. Right? And it's sad to say. It is sad to say. Like in an idealistic world, her value goes up with her intelligence, her empathy, like her personality improves as she gets older because she's less focused on her looks. Like it should go up, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't. It's the same for a man. Like you need to build who you are. If you can't provide, if you're not bringing in some serious cash, if you haven't got decent assets, if you haven't navigated life yet, if you're not in a masculine frame, like you still look like a little boy, it's like a cub to a lion. Like I said, you just don't get that respect that you're due. And now here's the, most important thing. That doesn't happen overnight. So I always promote to you guys patience. And I've explained before, laziness versus patience. Are you sat there doing nothing all day? Or are you doing everything you can, but it's still slow progress? Because if it's the first one, it's a you problem. If it's the second one, that's life. That's male life. That's male life. It isn't fair. You have to expect it to be tough in the beginning. Like, the more... This is how you cure depression, okay? Like, I know Andrew Tate says, get money, get whatever. My personal take is just expect it to be rough. Like, you can't be depressed if you knew it was coming. Right? If somebody's about to punch you in the face and you're like, I can see this coming, and you duck it, it's not going to hurt, right? It's not going to... Or if you can move away and you get less of an impact rather than, like, moving towards it, it's not going to hurt as much. It's not going to affect you as much. It's a lot easier when you know it's coming. And that's all you got to do in life. When you're on the come up as a man. Just expect it to be rough. Expect it to be shit. Then you look at a lot of young guys say to me on the channel, I have no purpose. And until I moved to London and I was speaking to a lot of my colleagues, I never knew this was a thing. I thought every guy was trying to push forward on all fronts and become something great. I met so many guys that were making a lot of money that were just like, I get home at night, I get into bed, I have a shower, I get into bed, I watch Netflix, I watch porn, I, message girls or whatever. I like go on Tinder and I swipe for hours when Tinder was big. And I was like, fuck, like it's quite sad actually. But I didn't realize like probably 80-90% of young men are in that scenario. And it's because they're purposeless, which again is normal. I mean, if we look at men and women now, right, as a side-by-side comparison, if you think about a man and a woman, I've explained this before, they're both 25 years old and broke. So they're both in part-time employment and they both live at home with parents. Okay? Well, in that scenario, it's not great for either. But it's a million times better for the woman if she's attractive. And even if she's not, she's probably got an option out there, right? Her get out of jail cards, if things aren't going well, get married, become a mother. Get pregnant. Even without the marriage, it's fine, right? Just get pregnant. Now, if this girl gets pregnant, what does she now have? She has, number one, a purpose, but number two, she has a job title. That job title is mother. Once you're a mother, and rightfully so, because I'm seeing my sister right now with her new baby, it is a very difficult job. Toughest job in the world? No, right? But tough job? Yeah, like really hard, right? But she can have a job title which is, like I said, mother, which has become socially normal, socially acceptable, as I said, as it should be, to sit at home all day with that baby. Now, you're not sitting at home all day. You're taking care of that kid, right? You're doing stuff. You're going to be tired. But it is socially acceptable to be unemployed, to have no income, somebody else providing for you, etc. You can be a stay-at-home mum because you have the job title of mother, because you got pregnant. Women have that get out of jail card. Now, who's providing for that woman? Well, there's a man. Okay, so as a man, you don't have that same luxury. Men aren't, like women get to 16, whatever, and they know they want to get married to their perfect guy. It's going to change over time, but the guy who it is, but they want to get married to their perfect guy. They want to have a kid, they want to have a house and all this stuff. As a man, we're like, I just don't fucking know what I want. I definitely don't want that shit. I don't want to get married. I don't want kids. And it's like there's not really a clear roadmap for us. Okay, and if we got to 25, we were unemployed, living at home with parents, you know, maybe a part-time job, no money, a few debts and whatnot from uni. You're going to sit there and if you said to yourself, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to get married. I just don't see how that benefits you. You know, that it just fucks you up financially even more. It's just a terrible idea. Number two, is there really going to be any women out there that actually want to marry you? Probably not. Okay, another option. I'm going to do what the women do. I'm going to get pregnant. I'm going to become a stay-at-home dad. Doesn't work the same. Obviously, you can't get pregnant, but if the woman got pregnant and you become a stay-at-home dad, again, like, good luck finding a woman that wants to do that. It's just not the same. It's not the same. It's not fair. I get it, but I would happily bring in 100,000 per month and have some beautiful 19-year-olds stay at home with my kids. You know, beautiful 21-year-old, whatever you want, you know, age-wise. Stay at home with the kids. And she was stunning. She's like the sexiest woman ever. Had a brain on her, but she just hadn't figured shit out yet. Yeah, fine, I'll provide. She gives me what I want. In reverse, is a woman going to do that for a guy who's going nowhere? Hell no. Like, I would know in that scenario, I'm the upper hand here. Like, without me, her life's kind of fucked. But at the same time, I'd be willing to do it, because that's what men do. Men want to save damsels in distress. We quite like the high estrogen girl who's lost in life, who's just like, oh, please, I need you to help me. I need you to be the masculine role. We kind of, like, that's our shit. We kind of get turned on by that. That's why, like, aggressive women just don't really do it for us. You know, they're like feminist type. That's why they're always single. But in reverse, like I said, it just won't work. So men don't have that get out of jail card. So what option do you have as a man? You have to just figure shit out as you go, right? And I know that's not a nice answer. You're probably like, hey Chris, I subscribe to this channel for you to sort my shit out, for you to like really help me out and provide me with answers. There's not really an answer. There's no one path for a man. For a lot of women, there's various paths, of course, but they're all next to each other. There's like 10 paths that women take. They're all quite similar. Most women live quite relatively, you know, even lives, so to speak. They do similar shit. They want similar shit. They don't deviate too much from that path. There might be offshoots of it, but it's very similar. As a man, you might get two billionaires that grew up completely differently and navigated their way through life completely differently. Just unparalleled to one another. Like, they're unrecognizable, but they both reach the end goal of whatever they wanted. One can be an artist, one can be trading stocks. You know, one could have been like a famous sports star, and the other one is like a builder that managed to build up the company to a certain extent. Like, it's really different. Like, their lives can deviate massively. It's a real strange journey. Okay? And that's why I cannot give you the exact roadmap. I cannot say just do this one thing. I can say things like, hey, get real invested in crypto. Seems to be a quick, easy way to make money without, much effort, just a ton of research. And then, you can pretty much just work a 9-to-5 job and just put a disposable amount of money into that every single month. There's not financial advice. It's just little things like that they can help, right? There's like little tips I can give you, but there's no exact roadmap as a man. Because in order to find your purpose, you need to take your time. Like, this is the necessary patient part of a man. Like, it just takes time. And over time, you will eventually stumble across what you love. And you'll be like, that's my passion. Why was I not doing this when I was 18? I love this shit. I wish I found this earlier. This isn't a bad thing. These are all good things. Like, I look back to when I was like 18. I'm like, why the fuck was I not doing everything I'm doing now? I could have done it easily. It was necessary for me to go through the shit that I went through. It was necessary for me to grow as a man. I couldn't sit on this camera and talk non-stop for, was it going to be like 30 minutes? I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't work in sales for 3 years and build up that confidence with projecting my voice like this to you guys and speaking confidently, articulately. You might think differently, but it's something that I'm able to do because of that skill set that I was able to garner within those 3 years of that job role. And other jobs that are like-minded, and difficult discussions that I've had to have with partners in the past, or family members, or doing a speech at my dad's funeral. Like, there's skills that you will just acquire over time through like life. And that is the male journey. It's tough. Things are shit at the start for most of us. Yeah, you could come from a rich family. You could have great genetics. They soften the blow, but it's still not going to be as good as it can be at the start. You're still a cub. You're a 2 kilogram cub. You're vulnerable. Women can slice you like that. Men with money can destroy you. They're the hyenas that can come and eat you. You know, other lions that are already fully grown that you've got to fucking watch out for. You know, there's big business in the world and you're trying to start up with your little company. You got to grow. You got to grow. You know, you got to start small and just rise up over time. This is male life. It's just one massive fucking struggle in the early days. The long-term reward is that male life is 10 times better than female life beyond the age of 30. I'd say 28 and beyond, it becomes a little bit equal, 28 to like 30. And then 30 and beyond, you know, men just take over. Men just kind of dominate the world in that sense from that point onwards. But before that, like I said, it's a necessary struggle. It's going to happen, guys. Expect it. You cannot get depressed. You cannot get down. You cannot say, Chris, I've tried this for 2 months and this didn't work and this went wrong and I'm not the best looking anyway, so I feel like shit. It's like, yeah, I've been there too. Everybody on this YouTube channel is in the same shit, in the same boat. It's pretty shit, guys. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, male life is a struggle. We just have to take control of the compound effect of, like, I've been in the gym for 6 years. I've been working on my business for 8. I've worked a 9-to-5 job for 12 years. Like, accumulate all those years up and then you become a somebody. Like, it takes a long, long time. And all of those aspects eventually add up to build the man that you actually want to be. And the more work you put in, the more effort you apply. And as Winston Churchill said, if you can just kind of, I'm going to butcher the quote somewhat, but if you can go from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm, eventually you'll get there. Eventually, like, luck happens. Like, you see something like my YouTube channel gains like 10,000 new subscribers in a month, and I go, wow, that was good. You know, or somebody contacts me, asks me, you know, do you want this done? I'm like, actually, it's funny you asked. I was looking to get that done now. Perfect timing. Like, just luck, just stuff starts falling into place. You go through, I don't know, you're in the gym, whatever, you're trying to get results, whatnot, you can't really, you know, you're trying to figure it out, you stick in the game, then you meet somebody who's in the perfect shape, and they're like, here's what I'm doing, why don't you copy me? And then it all clicks, it all falls into place. I was talking to a guy in the gym about this the other day. We were saying that the male fitness journey can end up being like 10 years, because for like 7-8 years, you're just wasting your time, you don't really know what you're doing. It's just one giant struggle along the way. I've talked about this a million times, guys, and I always tell you lot about patience, and I always tell you about coming back from failures. I always tell you about having grit and determination, staying in the trenches. I can say this till I'm blue in the face. You have to live it. Like, I'm 29, like I said. I've been through a fair bit of shit already, and things are starting to get good now. It's almost like I've pushed that boulder to the top of the hill, and now it's rolling back down the other side. I've got momentum. I can kind of let go, and it rolls on its own. And that's what it feels like to me at the moment. But for you younger guys who are struggling, enjoy these times. Because I look back now and I think, fuck, it was quite a fun journey. You know, it was quite fun having a little bit more time than I do now. It was actually quite fun finding out some of this information and then feeling optimistic about how it's going to be next year and the year after. And by the time I'm this age, I'm going to be killing it. Before you know you are that age. And you are killing it. You know, and you get there and you just think, yeah, this is pretty cool. Like, I'm here now. I've made it, things are going well, and then you're like, okay, but what am I going to do next? I'm going to strive for, and this is the problem, is like, you, even when you get there, you won't really stop in the moment, and things will be like, wow, this is so much better, and like, you'll want the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, so while you're on that journey, enjoy it while you can, because it's a necessary male-defining struggle. You know, you're learning to hunt, so that you can go from a cub to a lion. You're consolidating, you're like kind of sat there watching, taking all the information in, eating all the food, staying close to your mother so that you can grow as a man. So that eventually you're strong enough to go out there and join in. So that eventually you're strong enough to fight so that you can mate with the females. It's the same sort of thing. It's a patient game. You can't be the king without going through the trials and tribulations to begin with. Male life is beautiful, but it's fucking tough. It's fucking tough at the start. You have no purpose. You have no get out of jail card. You're basically like an army that's just burnt all their ships. There is no going back. If you go back, you live in a basement in your mum's house for the next 20, 30 years. You know, you just live in some shitty flat with no money, you're out of shape, you can't get women, you can't have the job you want, you don't have any money, like, it's just a shit show, okay? You can't run back. It's literally the only way is forward. And we have time to run into that forward gap. It's the only way I can describe male life. If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement, Male Advantage ebook, or my personal workout and diet plan, all links are in the bio.